Well, it's Margaret again from M.E.s Orchids, and this is one of the Phalaenopsis that I forgot to actually video this morning, and this was very dehydrated. This is one that came from a colleague at work, and you'll see she's got a little bit of hydration in those roots. She's not got a lot of water down there because some of these roots were actually rotted. But then if you just have a look there now, she's got a growing tip there, she's got a growing tip there, and if we bring her around there, she's got a growing tip there. So she just sits here on this bottom shelf. That leaf is lovely now, it's fully hydrated. That one is it's hydrated enough. Eventually that one may well come back. But she sits in this little vase here, just with a little bit of decorative gravel at the bottom, and she's actually just, oh dear, sorry about the noise, she's actually just sat down there. And as I say, I'm back up into the grow room. We've been outside and I've done a garden video out there. Now this is the Gatton Sunray, and this little piece of wood here, that one, that bit of bark, that just sits in here. But look at those lovely roots she's got developing there. This is just that big piece of lava rock just to anchor it down, because it's only in a small little pot. And if we just go upwards like this, that's one of the flower spikes, and this is the one, of course, that this leaf, and I've still not pegged it up. I've actually got a butterfly clip here. I wonder if it'd allow me to just clip it up. Let's just have a look. There we are. So now that can cascade down when it opens up. And if I just put this one down here, just on the floor, and then I'll bring this other one up. I'll just have to be careful with this one, because this is the big one. Now, I wonder how what I'll do is I'll just bring her up, and because this is a big one, this is one of those that Ed's actually got outside now, and he said to me that you know, I can put them outside. Now this is the delicatum, and look at that new growth there. That's coming on a treat now, and the roots, she's got some good roots, and just have a look down there. She's got a green tip on that root, and she probably just needs some of her leaves wiping, but this is the one that's highly perfumed. Now if I just lift her down now and put her back over here, of course this one sits on that top shelf. Sorry about the blurriness. Let me just do apologise about that. And this is the gracillicale, or gracillicale, and this has been watered as well today. And of course this just sits on this table. And if I get up now, that's the Dendrobium Friedrichsianum, with that, you won't see it there, but it's just tucked where my finger is. And I have checked her again this morning and put some more cinnamon on that tip there. That leaf's going over, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed. So let me just have a look what I'm going to show you now. I have to be careful because it's only a little small room. Oh, I know what I was going to show you first before I just there we go. You remember this one last week, and I showed you that little green tip there. I don't know whether you can see it. I've not got the light on here, but yeah, it's still growing, that little green tip is. So don't give up on your orchids. Let's put her back in there now. And then it is now 21 degrees in here and 66% humidity. And the reason the humidity's gone down is because when we were in the garden, I had the window wide open in here. So the window was wide open, and even though the humidifier's been on all day, that then dropped the humidity in this room. This is another one I'm just going to show you. Bear with me while I just sit down. And this is one of the little cattleyas. Now, these have been watered as well, and this one's in lava rock and a little bit of decorative gravel. And there's that new growth. And she's got some lovely roots there. And let me turn around here. There, one of those roots has started to anchor itself to the side of this terracotta pot. So if I lift myself back up now and just put her back there, that's where she sits, and that's where the Phalaenopsis sits. This is the big one now, and we've got some lovely roots even down there, anchoring to the side of this pot. And she has got an eye. I don't think it's on this side, it's on that one. Can you just see it tucked in there? So she's got an eye that's developing there. Oh, and I'm so pleased because this is my big one, Pastoral Innocence, and this one, if you remember, had those. It had a pot full of beautiful roots, and of course I had to disturb all those roots because, of course, this one was also infected with scale. This is this little one up here. That growth, that's romping away now, and that's just in lava rock and some decorative gravel. It's been watered this morning, and that one just hangs up there. There it goes, and it gets that full light. And I'll do another video another time on the cattleyas and show you the new growths and everything else like that. So if I just gently take you around this way now, and I'll come over to this shelving here, and this is the Chrysotoxin, and this has been watered today. And she's got some wonderful roots developing there. And underneath, I'll bring this one up. This has also been watered today. And this is the Macrophyllum. And like you can see, she's very healthy. And she just sits down there. So we just pan up here now. Like I say, I've got some of the phals actually mounted, and they're loving these mounts. They're sending out green growing tips, and I've got one behind me which it's a bit awkward to get. Now that's the Sedera japonica, and I see people who've got them, this one actually in bloom, and but mine's not bloomed yet, but I'm keeping my fingers crossed. This is that new needle on the Dockrilla, and she's got some nice green roots there. And this little one here is, of course, my species phal is Parisiae, and this is one of those that that's taken me a while to understand its needs. And now there, you won't see that well because it's not actually a completely clear pot, but in there, let me show you, she's got a new green growing tip. And I thought about watering her today, but when I looked, that sphagnum moss, she's got a little bit of sphagnum moss in there, because with her being a species and she's struddled, they do need more hydration. But because that sphagnum moss is still moist, I've not watered it. And hopefully now, see those three little tiny leaves, hopefully now I've got her settled, and I know her requirements. Next year, if I'm keeping my fingers crossed, she'll go from strength to strength. Now these are the Kingianums. Oh, I'm getting stuck on that one there. These are the Kingianums, and those are the new growths. And this is King Zip Red Splash. That's a King Zip Red Splash, and you can see those new growths there. And these are the two Kingianum Allens. Now these two I've watered today. And this big one, if you remember this big one here, I haven't watered that one for a week. But she's been hydrated today, as the frags have as well. And the frags on this top shelf here. And if we just go up here, that's the Dendrobium Thisithorum, and that's the remnants of that lovely flower. Syringan. There, look. And you only have to touch when she's falling to bits, but those blooms, those withered little blooms, still smell gorgeous. I'm going to bring you down now, and bring you down to this shelf here. And that's some of the Phalaenopsis. Now this one here I've got in lava rock and hydrogen balls. That's all, nothing else. And this one here, this one's in bark and a little bit of decorative gravel. This one's quite large now, and this one's got lovely growing tips. There we go. And like I say, I've got my Phalaenopsis all in different mediums, and I'll leave them alone. If they seem to be settled in that particular medium they're in, then I don't mess them about. And That's the big frag there from Madeira, and that's the other frag there from M.E.s Nurseries. And I'm just going to pick this one up here now, and I'll just show you this one and then I'll finish my video. And excuse me, this is Coleogyne fimbriata, and this is the one that I've been struggling with. Well, now it's completely hydrated, and to my surprise today, now whereabouts is it? Because they do surprise you. And is it just under here? Look, there it is. A new growth. So I'm glad I didn't throw it out. And if I just put her there and bring this other little part up, and I've looked for this one as well, just to see whether there's anything here. And although that little leaf there, sorry about that, I'm going out of focus, that little leaf there, it hasn't died back or anything, but I can't actually see anything new coming from one of those rhizomes. So she just sits in this little pot here, and there we go. I'll just stand up, and there's another big fell there, and that's my Pathiopedilum. And I'm going to, in a few minutes when I've come off camera, I'm going to actually water that. So if I pan you out here, I don't know whether the light will allow me to focus outside. I've got a nice breeze, and but it's a lovely day. So I'll close here, and thank you for joining me. Thank you for all my new subscribers, and please take care, and I'll speak again soon. Bye bye.